Appointment setting is probably the simplest and most lucrative way to make an income online with zero experience in 2024. Now, I just say that from a place of hiring 2 appointment setters in my own agency, interviewing tons of appointment setters in the industry, many of which are on this YouTube channel, by the way, as well as myself just setting appointments while I'm on the go, on my phone while I'm traveling. I love it, and I guess you're a little curious. So today we're gonna be breaking down 6 aspects of the appointment setter role and just like this hustle in general. So first thing we're gonna cover is understanding appointment setting. Just what is it and why it exists. Number 2, the benefits to appointment setting versus other business models that you see online, like running an agency, like what I was doing, affiliate marketing. Number 3, sourcing jobs as an appointment setter and a little tactic that you can use to get hired in this position in as little as 30 days. Number 4, simple strategies for getting hired. Number 5, the exact scripts used by appointment setters every single day. And then finally, number 6, the income possibility and income breakdown of what you can actually make in these positions. So without further ado, let's get started. So just a quick story, when I was selling as a business owner, when I was running my social media marketing agency, I was selling maybe 1 to 2 new deals every single month. But when I brought on 2 appointment setters, on our high months, we were doing like 6 to 8 new deals every single month. And I was giving them a percentage of everything that I sold.
So yeah, I mean, I have a call next week on Tuesday with Ashley, I think. George, you have that call with Harvey. You're gonna fucking kill it, man.
Easy, guys. It's gonna be easy.
I was so grateful to have them as a business owner, not only because they were just making me more money and we were closing more deals, but because they saved me so much time. So we'd be selling simple listing videos to realtors. And at the time, the appointment setters, they would call up these realtors and have like a quick 10 to 15 minute conversation with them to see if the realtor was even interested in pursuing videos, if they were just getting started, if they were more experienced, what kind of cash they were looking at investing. And if they were just unqualified and weren't even really interested in videos, they would just reject them and wouldn't even send them to me. Whereas if I was to do that myself every single day, I'd be wasting like 2 to 3 hours a day just hopping on calls with unqualified prospects. So to me, it was really worth the investment, not only for the money, but just for the time they were saving me. Now, let's get into the benefits of appointment setting versus other business models. So the first benefit you're gonna notice is just the high income potential that you're getting here. You can make business owner income without having to take on all the responsibilities of the business owner. If you go into one of my videos up here where I interview Kyle Burton, he's an appointment setter that makes $12,000 month after month on the low end, and he has a family, he's got a wife and kids, and he travels the world, and he sets appointments very casually. If you're interested in that video, go watch it up here. And then secondly, I can only talk on my experience. When I was running a social media marketing agency and I was selling all those realtors, we would be doing $40,000, $50,000 a month. But if you've ever run a business before, you know that gross revenue is very different than gross profit. So I was only taking in maybe $5,000 to $7,000 every month, which was okay, but I'd be working like 10 to 12 hours every single day. Which brings us on to the next benefit, which is the flexibility. So when you get into this industry, unlike other jobs where they give you a schedule and say,
hey, here are the hours that you're going to be working,
in this industry, it's reversed. So you tell the business owner when you're going to be working and when you're going to be setting appointments, because for them, they don't really care when you're working as long as you're performing and you're setting appointments on the calendar. As long as you're in a reasonably quiet place where you can take a phone call, then you're fine. But sometimes, honestly, you're just setting appointments through Instagram messaging, Facebook messaging, so it doesn't even need to be quiet. 2 nights ago, I was at dinner with a couple friends, and one of them stepped away to the washroom, so I whipped up my phone and messaged someone back and set an appointment on the spot there, which is only something I've been able to do because I've gotten really good at this one skill set, which is just talking to people. So this is the other benefit, is that you only need to learn one skill set. Unlike every other business model that you try, I'm telling you, like, it's not beginner friendly because you need to master like 5 to 10 things, and I speak on this from experience running an agency, and it gets just really hectic and you're managing 10 different things, and suddenly your 5 or 6 hour workday is now like 10 or 11 hours. This, you only have to get good at one thing: talking to people. Appointment setting is an entry-level position. So what most appointment setters tend to do, like their trajectory of growth, is that they start an appointment setter position and then they graduate into a closer role. The appointment setter position is a lot less stress and it's meant for less experienced people so that they can develop their skill set. Usually about 60% of the time, people are starting in this position and, like I said, graduating up from there. But even in an entry-level position, you can make $7,000 to $15,000 a month. I don't know of any other entry position where you can make $180,000 a year without any kind of formal education or training. And the last benefit is just the skill you gain from getting into this position. If you know how to sell, you will never be broke again. Another thing that I gained out of this was just learning communication skills, like basic ways of conducting myself in conversations, which really helped me out in other areas of my life. I mean, just take this example of how I was talking to a group of people back when I was 18 years old. So a good example of this would be Boys in the Hood. It's a film about a group of black guys in a bad community dealing with a tough time, right? Yes, I've since gotten better from then. Now let's just say at this point you're bought in, you're okay, cool, what's next? What do I actually have to do to get my first paycheck? And that's going to involve you going out there and sourcing a job. And so the way you go about sourcing a job in this industry is very similar to a lot of other industries with just a few caveats. One of those caveats is just finding companies that have their marketing set up really, really efficiently and really well. And if they do that, that just means that they're going to have some goddamn fire leads coming in for you to call up and set appointments with, as opposed to something like cold calling or cold emailing or whatever. One of the places you can go to is Facebook. There are tons of groups of business owners that are looking for appointment setters and high ticket closers. One of them you can search for is high ticket closer free job opportunities. But if you would like 50 other groups that you can search for on Facebook, then click the first link in the bio below. That's going to be a free resource that you can download that will give you access to tons of different Facebook groups. Another really common place that people go to is just job boards. So if you go to places like Indeed and just search up terms like high ticket closer, high ticket appointment setter, then you're going to find corresponding jobs that are paying between $100,000 to $180,000 a year. So I love getting served Instagram and Facebook ads. You know, the ads that you see all the time with people trying to sell you stuff. Those are companies that have their marketing dialed in, that have lots and lots of people submitting their name, email, and phone number who are looking for help on what they're selling. If that's the case, and they have tons of people reaching out to them, as an appointment setter, you're just reaching out to those people who are seeing these advertisements and trying to book calls with the companies. Anytime you see an ad, I love to just like them, comment on them, and then the algorithm gets so quick and just starts serving me tons of different ads from tons of different companies who most likely have appointment setters or are looking to hire appointment setters. Now here's a few strategies I can pass on to you for getting hired. And I'm going to pass this on to you both from a business owner's perspective of receiving tons of DMs from people who want to work with me every single day, but also from someone who's just spoken with hundreds of appointment setters who have gone through this process. So I guarantee you, if you're a business watching this video, if you're an appointment setter and you message me and you use one of these strategies, I guarantee you I will respond. So pay attention. The first thing you should do is just create engagement. So the initial thing you send to a company should just be to see if the account is active and that someone is seeing these messages. This is a tactic that works a lot more for Instagram and Facebook than a formal application process of Indeed. But the first thing is just a simple message. Something like,
Hey, who runs this account?
or maybe you do a little research on the account.
Hey, is John still the CEO?
And then once you get a response, you want to give them a personalized message to stand out. Do not do any kind of copy and paste resume BS here, okay? What you want to do is send a personalized message referencing where their company is, the name of their CEO would be good, or a product that they just released. A little tip here would be that sending voice messages, also doing these personalized tips, helps tremendously because now they can hear what you sound like, but then they also know you're legit because you're referencing aspects of their company. You're not some robot. And the last step here is just follow up. So if this company follows up with you and says
Sure, I want to meet. Can you just do these things for me first?
which often happens, they might want you to fill out some kind of questionnaire or sheet, send them over a Loom video, do it. That's how you follow up properly. If they're giving you instructions on doing something, don't do it half-assed. Don't give them an explanation why you can't. Just do it. And a good example of this is a company owner will often ask you a direct question about sales or appointment setting, and they'll ask you to send a Loom video back to them. And I've done this when hiring for new people, and oftentimes 50% of the time they won't even send a Loom, or they'll leave an explanation being oh, my camera's broken, my microphone's broken, I'm sick. And if they do that, I just take that as this is an applicant who can't follow instructions. I can't trust them to follow my instructions, so I'm going to skip them, and I don't hire them as a result. So if they're telling you to do something, just do it. Don't make an excuse. So let's go into an example script of what you'd be doing and saying as an appointment setter. So one of the first things you do as an appointment setter when you're initiating a conversation with like a lead from social media is you want to be able to qualify the prospect and see if they're actually someone who would buy what you're selling. And so the way you do that is over messaging or over call, you ask about the prospect's job, what are some of their pain points that they're struggling with, what are their goals. You just really want to get an understanding of them. So what we would do in my company, what my appointment setters would do is they would go through this formal process where they would be managing outbound leads, just an FYI. They would comment on a lead's post, and then they would send them a message on DMs, and it would just say like, hey, name, just commented on your last post. Awesome drone shots, by the way. So they would send them a personalized message about their account. And then we would just say, how's it going, right? Very little time investment there. It'll take you like 30 seconds. And then the person would respond, hey, blah, 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 and they'd give you a message back, okay? And then when a prospect would follow back with us, we would send them this script over a voice note. In this example, you would say something like, hey, Bob, this is Ethan, insert personal statement relating back to what the guy just messaged you. So in this case, he just said, thanks for the kind words. It's going well. How are you? So I would just say, hey, Bob, this is Ethan. I'm going really well. Thanks for asking. I'm just sending over this voice message because I saw you guys are making some really good stuff right now as far as content goes. And so I just wanted to send you over a quick video of ours and really just wanted to get your thoughts on it and potentially set up a call if you're interested in doing something similar. Okay. And then from there, we would send them over a video that we would be selling. And then we would just write thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Right. And then depending on the prospect's response, they'd be like, yeah, it's cool, or nah, it's not cool. If they said, yeah, it was cool, that looks awesome, I would like something like that, then we would move on to the warm call script. And so this warm call script is how we would call the lead and set the appointment with them. So let's go through that. So we would always open the script with, hey, Bob, this is Ethan Eigenfeld from the Coconut team. How's the day been treating you? They would say something back, and I would respond with, hey, I'm doing fantastic. I'm a bit sore from the gym this morning, but, I'm pulling through. I'm just calling to put a voice to the name and lock down a time for us to chat on Zoom this week. Does Monday or Tuesday work better? And 80% of the time, they would choose one of those 2 days. And then from there, you would chunk down further and say, does 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. work better for you or is more convenient for you? They would choose a time. You would lock down that time, okay? And then you would say to them, awesome. So I'll send you a calendar invite that'll have a Zoom link attached to it. And then they'd be like, cool, that works for me. And then we would say this little last blurb here to ensure that before the call with the closer, they would take the time to watch a 15-minute VSL video. And if you don't know what VSL stands for, it stands for Video Sales Letter. So it would kind of do a lot of the selling for us before they would hop on the call. And if they watched that video, we had like a 50% higher chance of closing them. Like, it was ridiculous. It was night and day between leads. And so this was how we would get them to agree to watch that video. Awesome. So just so our conversation is super productive and you can get an idea of how the whole video process works, what I want to do for you is email you a quick video to watch before the call. Can you just make sure you watch that before we speak? And they'd be like, sure. Notice how we're framing this as something that's to their benefit. We're saying that just to make sure our conversation is productive. No one wants to be wasting time, especially not realtors. So if they watch this, it's going to be more time efficient. Great. After they agree to that, we'd say, fantastic. I'll go ahead and take care of that for you right now. Is there anything I can answer for you right now before I send that over? They'd be like, no, or they'd ask a logistic question and then you'd answer it. And then you'd just say, I look forward to talking with you on Friday at 3 p.m. Have a great rest of your day, right? And then boom, bam, you close the phone and the appointment is set at that point. And that's going to be one of your 100 appointments you do. If you just do that an hour a day, my God, you're going to be making good money as an appointment setter. And we're going to be getting into the income of what that looks like in a second here. And then just before I move on here, if you want to see a live appointment setter call from a dude who's crushing like 10K months, just doing this all day, every day, click up here to watch a video where I interview Brian O. Dude's a legend and he's killing it. Let's keep going. Okay, the full income breakdown. Now it's time to just break down like what can I be making in this position and how much money am I making if I'm only setting one appointment per hour, 5 hours a day. So you're working like 25 hours a week, guys. So let's say you are selling an offer that is $5,000, which in this industry is kind of on the lower end. It can go all the way up to $30,000, but usually $5,000 is like the bare minimum that you're gonna sell. Okay, if you are setting one appointment per hour, working 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 appointments per week or 100 appointments every single month. Let's say 20% of those appointments close, which really isn't even that good. You know, there's some closing teams that are closing 40 to 50% of their leads. Again, it just depends on how warmed up the leads are and how the marketing is. But let's just say 20% of those are closing conservatively. Each appointment, you're gonna get paid 3 to 5% of the $5,000. So 20 of those leads are closing, you're getting $150 to $300 per close. You're making $3,000 to $5,000 per month, plus an additional $1,500 a month base pay that these companies will give you for coming onto their team. Again, that's working 25 hours a week in an entry-level position. Now, let's go into what this could look like if you were to just tweak a few of the numbers and work with a company that's maybe selling something a little higher ticket, or they have better sales systems in place. So let's say now you're selling an offer that's $7,500, which I've bought offers before that have been $7,500, $8,000 before. So this is very realistic to someone like me. You're selling an offer that's $7,500. You're setting 1.5 appointments per hour. So you're just like a little bit better in skill set than before. That's going to be 200 appointments per month. If 30% of those are now closing, you just made 60 sales. At 3% per sale, you're making $13,500 plus the $1,500 a month base pay, which is $15K per month right there. So that's really how the inner workings of your income works. I mean, it's really dependent on 3 things that you are in control over, which is what is the offer price, what are you closing out at, and how many appointments are you setting on your calendar? Now, if you've gotten this far in the video, I imagine you're at least somewhat interested in appointment setting and possibly exploring this further. So down below in the second link of the description, you can apply for our community that is launching on July 1st. This is gonna be a community where I'm gonna personally teach you everything I know about making 6 figures in your first year as an appointment setter or closer. And the cutoff for this community is 50 people, meaning once the 50th person signs up for this, we will not be taking any more people into this community. So second link down below, you can go apply for your spot before some other dude's gonna take it as they're watching this video right now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.